So today in our video with Dr. Srinath N.G, we have discussed on various topics in the journey of CA. We have talked about journey as a CA aspirant from CA foundation level to an employment as a chartered accountant. Listen complete podcast and share your experience in comments. Suggest the next guest for our podcast. Hello everyone, we are thrilled to have Dr. Srinath N.G with us today, often referred as tax guru by his students. With over 15 years of experience in teaching tax, he is not just an educator but also a practicing chartered accountant. He is also a visiting faculty at ICAI, ICMAI, CS Institutes, Nalsar Law University, and he is also a chief mentor at Accomplish Academy. His insights in the world of taxation are invaluable, and I know we are all eager to learn more about taxation with him. Let us give a warm welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So, sir, first question. As a student, I'm having various opportunities from engineering career or a medical career. Why should I choose finance career as my option?
Good question. So, many of them actually keep asking me, not only you people, but also in my friend circle as well as in the relatives also. They generally ask, Srinath, is it because you have done chartered accountancy, you are also promoting students towards chartered accountancy course or towards any commerce professional like cost accountancy or company secretary, or is it only that you have tendency towards doing this course? This is the general question which keeps on coming to me. But when most often I answer this question in this way. See, for a engineer or for a doctor, they definitely earn income on a daily basis. But the problem is they do not know how to manage their finance. So they always depend on a person who is a professional in the finance course. So basically it is the commerce professional who will always give that best advice to the doctor or to an engineer, or for that reason even another chartered accountant or a cost accountant also.
Yeah.
So I would always prefer the students doing this course for one reason, which is this is always an evergreen course. This does not have any impact when there is a recession in our country, or when there was a COVID also in the country. When the country went for a lockdown, no single chartered accountant or no single cost accountant or a company secretary lost their jobs. The reason being, whether to open a company or to shut down a company, a chartered accountant or a cost accountant or a company secretary is mandatorily required. Whereas a commerce professional requires an engineer only when he or she constructs the house. A commerce professional requires a doctor only when she or he falls ill. Whereas a doctor or an engineer always requires a chartered accountant or a commerce professional because they keep earning money on a daily basis. And this commerce professional is having wide varieties of opportunities. In case you are unable to complete your chartered accountancy course or cost accountancy or your company secretary course, you always can select for any other courses like your banking course. You can get into some government jobs, like you have this electricity boards who appoints this junior accounts officer, JAO post is what we generally have. So those posts also we can get into. Whereas an engineer cannot get into all those courses, or a doctor cannot get into all those courses, because generally they are having a prefixed mind that they have to enter into engineering profession or into a medical profession where the opportunities are less. With all due respect, see, they are also very well recognized courses, but when it comes to me as an advice, definitely I being a chartered accountant, I being enjoying the fruits and respect in the society, I definitely prefer and advise a student to select a commerce course. It need not only be a chartered accountancy course, some commerce course you please take, because generally when we started doing this course and all, we were very much degraded, because when you go to a college, and you select MEC or CEC as a course, they generally look at as at a very deranged level, wherein since he cannot do MPC or cannot do BPC, that is the reason why he has come. It's not that. Please remove that phobia. I also give this suggestion to parents also. If your child is getting into commerce professional, please do encourage, because this world requires a commerce professional, because we chartered accountants are also known as partners in nation building.
Yes.
I'm not saying that. This is said by many prime ministers, many CFOs, and many other worldwide businessmen who are also the entrepreneurs. So I always suggest people to get into this course, because this is having wide variety of opportunities, and you will never be you can never be just like that removed from the organization by issuing a pink slip, because a management, when it has to remove you, it has to think 1,000 times. The reason is you have already handled their finances. That is the main reason why management also thinks 1,000 times before giving or issuing a pink slip to a commerce professional. That is the reason also I suggest people to get into this course. I think I have answered number of your queries.
Yes, sir. Sir, I want to add one thing for this. I think in GST meeting, I think Narendra Modi ji has mentioned that CA sign is more powerful than a Prime Minister sign.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So I would also like to say that every one of us, including me, definitely we will be what I can say is, we can always we are enthusiastic to have a celebrity signature. Definitely if MS Dhoni comes or Virat Kohli comes, I would definitely show my back and ask them to sign. But one good thing you have to observe, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji told, is these people whose celebrity signatures you require, yes, they require our signature, which is nothing but a chartered accountant signature, because we are the ones who can sign their financial statements. No one else in this country can sign the financial statements, and that is the reason why the chartered accountancy course has got lot of prominence. I understand that it's not everyone's cup of tea to do chartered accountancy course, but trying is never ever bad. You can try. You will definitely succeed in this. Further, in the continuation of this discussion, I'll also make it in my further questions to you.
Yes, sir. Sir, Chartered Accountancy course happens to be the most rewarding yet difficult course.
Yes.
What is the advice you have for CA aspirants?
Yes, this is the point I was actually trying to link it up to the earlier question of yours. So this Chartered Accountancy course is said to be one of the toughest course. True, but I also have one exceptional statement, because generally when we are teaching law or tax and all, we have a lot of exceptions, right? So in this process, I'd like to tell you, this is the toughest course, but this is not a course for tough people. Yes. So what I mean to say is, if you are really tough, if you are really determined, if you are really having the dedication towards this course, and you also should have something called discipline towards this course. Now when I say discipline, it does not mean fold your hands and always bend yourself to someone. Discipline means studying properly. Discipline means not getting deviated from your studies in spite of having family functions. Now when it comes to me, I have lost many Diwalis, because generally CA final exams are are held in the month of November as well as May, but when attempts comes in the month of November, it always gets clashed with a very popular festival in this country called Diwali. Now coming November exam also, 31st October is the Diwali. So November 1st was the final exam, which got postponed eventually because of this. So this course requires a lot of sacrifices. It's not so easy to become a chartered accountant. Becoming a chartered accountant requires a lot of sacrifice. You have to lose certain functions, you have to lose certain friends, you also have to lose certain relatives. I'm not asking you to lose them permanently. It is only a temporary period of time you have to sacrifice, not meeting them, not going to the functions. No matter whatever they talk about you, but tomorrow once you qualify, definitely they all will come to you. They will definitely praise you without any condition.
Yes,
That's
sir.
the main thing you have to keep in mind. So yes, CA course is really tough, but yes, it is also a respectful profession in this society.
Sir, you have told that CA course is not tough, but it is for tough people.
Yeah.
That is well said, sir. But parents, especially parents, and few section of students think that I should be a topper in order to become a chartered accountant.
Good, very good question. So actually, this question might be little embarrassing for me. The reason why I say is a positive embarrassment, I can say. The reason is I'm never a topper in my school. I'm never a topper in my college. If you take out my records, you can happily see that I was studying in a CBSE school, which is a DAV public school, which was in Safilguda, and I can tell you today in front of the camera and to all the listeners that I was a failure in my maths. So I passed my 10th exam in compartmental. Why? What is this compartmental? Is in CBSE and all, we don't call it as supplementary, we call it as compartmental. And I passed mathematics just with 42 marks in my compartmental exam. And second thing, in my intermediate, I also failed in Maths 1A, which is generally said to be the toughest paper. Generally everyone will fail also. I too failed. So what I can say is, it's not that you should always be a topper. Even a failure like me when they can become a chartered accountant, why can't you people nowadays getting 10 points, 9 points, 9.5 points, why can't you people become a chartered accountant? As I told, to become a chartered accountant, your marks in your 10th class or your intermediate marks will never ever matter, because I have seen many students who are even state toppers, but still they could not qualify chartered accountancy. So is it their mistake or is it the course mistake? You have to observe. When they can become a state topper in their intermediate, why can't they qualify chartered accountancy just with 50%? You have to get only 50% to qualify this CA course, right? It is not 90 or 95% which the institute is asking. But why is that you are not able to get that 50%? Please question yourself. It is that is the reason I told you there are 3 points here, 3 D's you have to keep in mind. One is determination to do this course, second, dedication to do this course, and the third one, as I told, very important, discipline. Maintain the discipline. You should have the courage. Even though you are being pulled by many people, don't go behind them. Because I keep seeing nowadays many students, after their 10th class, they come to my house for personal counseling, right? Because people around my house, they know that I am into educational field, so they need some advice as to what has to be done. When I keep talking to these people, they say, I want to do MPC. I ask one question, why you want to do MPC? They say only one reason, because my friend is doing MPC. This means they don't have a proper goal. They just want to get into that course as a cattle. But if you want to be unique in your society, you have to step out of that and do some course just like how I did. Even many of my school friends, they have done their MPC, they have done their BPC and all, but I came out and I did MEC and I could be successful. That's the reason. I'm not over boosting myself. I'm just trying to tell you the fact. A fellow like me, a failure like me can become a successful chartered accountant. Why can't you people who are always a successful person, why can't you become a chartered accountant?
Yes, sir. Sir, often in this CA field, we listen that, I have taken 2 attempts, I have taken 3 attempts for completing CA inter or final. Does these attempts really matter in order to get into a mid-sized firm or a big 4 firm?
This is another mind-boggling question among the CA students. They also keep asking me, the parents also who come to take up this course, they also keep asking me, sir, what if my son or daughter does not qualify CA in their first attempt? Will they be given employment in any other company once they qualify, or is this attempt really going to matter? One thing I can tell every one of you here is, the more number of attempts you undergo in a chartered accountancy course, the more expertise you become, actually, strictly speaking, because the more number of times you are learning the subject. So please don't shed away or go away that and hide yourself that you failed, you could not clear the attempt. The more times you fail, the more times you should rise. That is the important concept here, and you will definitely gain so much of experience. And if you take my own case, I never passed my CA starting from foundation till my final in my first attempt. I have qualified them in the second attempt only, and it has really given so much of experience, so much of knowledge sharing, yes, which definitely all other employers also will definitely appreciate with you.
Sir, I just want to tell my personal experience. CA foundation was not that tough actually. Even if we listen classes properly and practice few like a reasonable number of questions, we can clear CA foundation. But when coming to CA intermediate, we'll go through 6 months of extensive coaching, either online or offline from any other institute, any other thing, and 3 months of practice.
Correct.
Before exam.
Correct.
What do you say about practice test during this period of 3 months? What is your recommended test papers, number of test papers that a student should have?
Okay, so again I'll share my personal experience here. When it comes to practice in the CA exams, there's a good saying, practice makes a man as well as of course a woman perfect also. The more you practice, yes, the more grip you will get on the subject.
Yes.
But the negative side of this profession is, the more you practice, the less number of chances are there that you will get the same question in the CA exam. That is why the CA exam is actually unique here. Like for example, when I wrote my final exam, I practiced one subject. Earlier when we wrote, it was called as MAFA, Management Accounting and Financial Analysis. Now it is called as SFM and all, Strategic Financial Management. At that time, you won't believe, I practiced 3,000 problems 3 times.
Wow.
But the irony is, I didn't get even a single problem from that. That is the irony. That is the best thing of this profession. I'll say why I'm saying you the best thing of this profession is, you always have to expect the unexpected from the CA institute whenever you are getting into the exam hall. So please understand, the next attempt when I went, I practiced only 30 problems and I was successful in that attempt. So you cannot exactly say, you cannot exactly quantify that yes, you practice so many things you will get. See, practice, yes, is required, but don't think that just because you practiced you will definitely clear the attempt. It always requires minimum amount of common sense when you are writing the exam also. That is what is CA exam made up of, because CA means nothing but your certainty of getting the same question is little less. That is why the term CA always says come again.
Yes. Sir, in this CA exam, few people pass in their first attempt, as we all know, and few take multiple attempts.
Yes.
When we ask the people who have cleared their exams in first attempt, they say, "Arey, I have done only just 3 months of study and I cleared. That is not tough." But I say, they have done 3 months of work, but they have done genuinely.
Correct.
But when these people who have taken multiple attempts, so what is the advice you give for them? Despite of taking this many attempts, and to keep them motivated and to give the next attempt.
Okay, so basically the CA students, as I was mentioning, undergoing multiple attempts is not a sin. First of all, please keep that in your mind, because when you undergo multiple attempts, as I was mentioning earlier also, you are getting so much of expertise. But I won't say keep on writing. You have to cut it off somewhere. So to cut off, what is the mistake you did in the earlier attempt? Please try to rectify. Because nowadays every material is available online, but those days when we did, there was no CA material at all properly designed. If at all any material is there, it was in a black what do you call that, black and white print. Yes, and if we have to purchase previous year question papers, we have to go and stand in the line outside the CA institute, and we have to purchase by paying 40 rupees some rough paper they used to print and give, and there was no certainty again that that question you would have been asked. And now that you have to really appreciate the CA Institute, they have come up with lot of revision test papers, lot of suggested answers, lot of good material content and all. So it should actually become now easy for the CA student to crack the exam in the first or maybe in the second or maybe in the third attempt, not beyond that. But in case you are taking more than 3 attempts, you have to question yourself as to where you are missing, and try to go and meet some chartered accountant and try to take their advice. Maybe because when a third person is telling you, you might agree with that point and you might try to rectify yourself also, because when we studied and all, there was no such kind of things available, and this media and all also was not available so much. Now like this podcast and all was not available. This podcast has come up just 2-3 years back.
Yes.
But when we studied, where was the podcast and all? It is always, as I told, the self motivation. You talk to your inner self. When you talk to your inner self, you will definitely come out, you will rectify the mistake, and definitely you will qualify the exam in a proper way and within a normal attempt. And please try to understand, when you are writing multiple attempts, please don't get demotivated. And I keep seeing students who write 3 attempts, after that CA meri bas ki baat nahi hai bhai. This is what generally they do, and from there they try to switch over to MBA. From after doing MBA, they feel that they want to excel in their career just by having an MBA. Please try to understand, anyone can do MBA, but only few can do CA. Please be within that few, because India as of now requires around 12 lakh chartered accountants. This I am not saying our president
yes.
himself has announced the same, and India is currently having not more than 3.5 lakh chartered accountants.
Yes.
So there is a huge gap, around 8.5 lakh gap is there. Why don't you take up that gap? Please understand. And one more thing they keep saying is CA pass percentage is less, pass percentage is less, pass percentage. This is the continuous point I keep hearing, even from my friends, from my relatives. I would like to ask you only one thing. Pass percentage comes from where? Pass percentage comes only when a student passes.
Yes.
Only when a student passes, the pass percentage will increase. When they do not pass, why will the pass percentage increase? It is not the institute which generally keeps modifying the pass percentage, because recently in the media and all, I have heard many things that CA Foundation only 14% was the pass percentage and the institute has done something. It's not like that. It is always a student's acceptance levels to the course. Student has to put a lot of hard work behind this course, because nothing comes free of cost in this society.
Yes.
Something which comes free of cost does not stay with you for long. So you have to keep that point in your mind.
Yes, sir. Sir, in this journey as a CA student, we should accept the reality that even after taking multiple attempts, that if we are not able to qualify exam, we have to move on in life.
Yes.
So what is the saturation point according to you as a student, and move on in life and lead happy life?
Okay. So since you asked me about the saturation point, I would like to give an example of one of my friend. One of my friend, I'll in fact put the other word to him. He was my senior in my articles. When I was doing my articles, he was already a senior. I joined articles in the year 2006 in one of the famous firm, Gandhi & Gandhi Chartered Accountants, which is there in Bashirbagh. It is one of the top 10 firms in the state, and there one of the guy was doing his CA. He already has given 3 attempts before we joined. From there onwards also, he is continuously giving his attempts. Of course, he has various family responsibilities he is unable to clear. Now, when you ask me a saturation point, where is the saturation point to him? For him, it is only one thing. I have to have the 2-letter tag before I leave this world. That 2-letter tag is something called CA. So please understand, surname will be given by your parents, but CA name, before your name, adding those 2 words CA should be given by you. It is your own responsibility. Recently also, we have seen many videos of many chartered accountants who have qualified after giving 20 attempts. So please understand, as I was telling you earlier, don't get demotivated by the number of attempts. For that reason, I am not asking you to give number of attempts also. Yes, somewhere you have to put an end to it. How do you put an end to it is always in your hands. Talk to yourself. That is what I have been saying. Or advice, go and take the advice of some other external person. You will definitely clear. Please don't lose hope, and you have entered into a prestigious profession which none other can do. Like take your group of 10 friends and assess Why I am only doing this course, why others are not doing? It is because they don't dare to do this course. You have taken that dare step. Please cross that other side of the pond and stand as a unique person in the society where your respect will be immeasurable.
Yes. Sir, as a chartered accountant, what are the career opportunities that I have?
Okay. Basically, you see, when you ask me about the career opportunities for chartered accountant, there are wide variety of career opportunities. So I'll just put it in simple 3 points. Number one, he can get into practice or she can get into practice, or they can become an entrepreneur, or they can also become an educationist. Like they can also get into teaching profession, as well they can also get into employment. When I say, obviously everyone talks about is about the corporates and all these are the basic career opportunities which are available to a chartered accountant. Apart from this, nowadays many people are taking up the career in IAS. Also, you can see many chartered accountants who have also done their civil services, and now they are into IFS, IAS and all various posts and all.
Yes. Sir, you're saying that we are having a lot of opportunities as CA.
Correct.
Recent studies show that CAs, after qualifying as a chartered accountant, they are going into corporate jobs.
Correct.
Rather than starting their own practice. What is your view on that? What do you suggest me? Either I should start my own practice or I should go into corporates.
Okay, so this is also another one of the mind-boggling questions I can say among the young aspiring chartered accountants and the freshly qualified chartered accountants. See, getting into practice or getting into corporates is always one's own decision. Right? It all depends on how and what are the areas you want to actually focus upon. Once you are into corporates, your lifestyle is completely different. Once you are into practice, your lifestyle is completely different. For example, I can tell you something. If you enter into corporates, you earn good amount of money. However, you lose lot of peace. So there are always pros and cons. Whereas when you get into practice, you earn less money, but you have lot of self-satisfaction, as well as you also have lot of peace among you. But the other thing what one of my brother used to say is, when you get into practice, it always takes minimum 5 years to buy a normal motorcycle. Because revenue generating factor is little less in practice compared to corporates. However, in a long term, if you see, I always suggest you to get into practice. But having said that, if you're getting into practice, you also have to ensure you have good networking structure also, because the more networking you have, the easier it will become to get into practice and all. That is what is one of the important factor you have to keep in your mind. You should get support from various people when you get into practice. But when you get into corporates, it's not like that. You just go to an interview, you crack the interview and you get the job. And once you get the job, you keep on growing and all. However, the more you grow, the less will be your peace. So it all depends on every individual. What you want, you please select properly. If you want to get into practice, you also ensure that you have some other secondary source of income. We generally call it as passive source of income. Like if you take my own case, from the day when I qualified, I am into practice. I never ever have stepped into the corporate world till today. And I am successfully running the practice since last 15 years. And when you have practice, the other question comes into your mind is, should I have a big office, big infrastructure so that the clients will get attracted? But I would like to suggest a small point to youngsters who are coming into practice is, don't incur huge costs. If you look at our office, we have our office at our residence itself in the ground floor, wherein I and myself and my wife, both of us are only the partners in the firm, and we have articles. We send the articles directly to the client's location instead of bringing them into our office. And there is a very good saying, chartered accountant is always required to minimize his cost. So when we ourselves do not minimize our cost and we have some very big infrastructure which does not give you any source of revenue, rather it increases your cost, it increases your working capital. These are the certain factors you have to consider when you get into practice itself. That is the reason you have strong networking. Nowadays, being the digitalized world, you need not have a big setup also. Even a small room, a 10 by 10 room also should suffice to make your practice successful. That is how we are into a 10 by 10 room. You may visit our office, you will also get to know some insights about it.
Yes. Sir office is also located at Kukatpalli. Office name is Srinath and Associates. Sir, if I want to get into corporates, having said that your wife has worked in corporates for since last 12 years, does additional skills matter? Because unlike in engineering courses, they should have multiple other skills also.
Yes.
So what are that additional skills should I have to get into a corporate world?
Yeah, okay. So mainly as a chartered accountant, we must possess obviously good communication skills. That is the only additional skills you should have, and you should also maintain a good personality. Now when I say personality, not that it's going to gym and all. Maintain good personality in the sense you should always give a proper look in the form of dressing, because nowadays we keep seeing many students, many chartered accountants also in the casual dresses entering into the corporate office. But always it is your attire which will give lot of message to the other person who is looking at you. So when you are getting into corporates, additional skills and all is not required. It is sufficient if you complete your GMCS course, which is provided by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India properly, and it will definitely give you a lot of value. That is how we have done. And in fact, my wife also, she hadn't undergone any other additional courses as such for getting into a corporate world.
Sir, do you have any advice for young aspirants who are pursuing chartered accountancy course?
Yeah, so for young aspirants who are pursuing the chartered accountancy course, I would like to tell you a few points here. Number one, when you are aspiring to become a chartered accountant, first and the foremost point, remove fear from your mind, because fear has two meanings: forget everything and run, okay, or face everything and rise. So these are the two things actually a chartered accountant student must take into picture. And the other thing which comes into a student who is aspiring to become a chartered accountant is the motivational factor. Now, sir, should I go to some motivational classes to become a chartered accountant? Not required. Strictly speaking, with all due respects to all the motivational speakers, I can tell you only one thing: there is a motivator inside each one of you. You please take out that motivational factor from yourself, because when we all did chartered accountancy course, we didn't have any kind of motivational classes, no kind of meditation or yoga, etc. It is we who spoke within ourselves whether what is that we have to do if we are falling down somewhere, how to rise back again. That is the only motivational factor. Everyone is having a hero within yourself. You please take out that hero from yourself, or heroine obviously from yourself. It will definitely help you out. You need not have any other motivational factor. It is you who can be motivational for your own self. That's called a self motivation. So the other thing what I would like to tell to aspiring chartered accountants is, with all due respects, please don't listen what your friends or relatives are saying about this course, because generally these people do not have knowledge about the course, and they do not have the importance of the course. They start trying to pull you back when you inform that you are willing to do chartered accountancy course. They definitely pull you back, but don't come back. Once you started swimming, please go to the other side of the lake. Don't come back here, because once you started and once you go to the other side, you will definitely release the beauty and the success.
That was a good advice, sir. Thank you for your advice. Sir, this is a controversial question actually. Nowadays, education system is becoming a business rather than a charitable activity. So what is your take on that? What do you think about it?
Yeah, what you said is right, very much true. Actually, the education sector is becoming a business. But the other side of the coin you have to observe is, who is making those businesses a commercial activity, or the education institutions a commercial activity? It is obviously we, the parents, we, the students, who are promoting them. We are trying to, because everyone needs a good infrastructure, a very clean environment. Everyone needs a very experienced experienced chartered accountant who teaches the classes. So in this process, a business, now looking from the business perspective, the educational institution, if it has to bring a very good mentor to you, definitely it has to shell out some money. When it has to shell out some money, obviously from where they will pull that money? Obviously it is from the student. So this is one angle from where the education institution have become commercial. But yes, I can say there are some institutions even today who do not worry about the what you call economical factor, rather they only render it as a service. Like if you take my own case, I have my own YouTube channel, but I never ask the students to like or subscribe in the when they are watching the videos. You may also go through the taxation lessons, law lessons from that, which is completely free of cost, and there are some people like me who also do this kind of activity. So it has both sides of the coin. So yes, when it comes to commercial aspects, it has become little costly, but I can say you only one thing: compared to other courses, our CA course, the cost of pursuing our CA course is very, very less, and the entire cost you can recover it from your articleship stipend itself. That is the beauty of this profession, which I keep on telling to other courses also.
Yes, sir. Sir, I just wanted to know the secret of you, sir. Despite having various opportunities to work at corporates, earn more income than now.
Correct.
Why did you choose teaching as your career?
Okay, so good that you have also mentioned that teaching I have taken up as my career. See, always it was my passion to teach the students. One of my brother asked me the same question just like you. Why don't you get into corporates? I have a very good job for you in a multinational company, which was at that time Standard Chartered Bank. Now it's called as Scope International. So my brother was in Chennai. Now of course he is heading one of the business unit of Standard Chartered in Singapore. He asked me the same question: why don't you get into corporates? Why are you sticking on to only teaching profession? I told him only one point: the one which gives you satisfaction, you have to get into that. It is always not the terms of money which you have to measure, because they say money brings you everything, but I can say you money does not bring you satisfaction. There are again people who only look at money which bring them external or internal satisfaction, but when it comes to me, money does not give me satisfaction. It is always the help what I render which gives me satisfaction. So that is the only reason why I got into the teaching profession. And parallelly, another important issue is in the teaching profession also, I am taking up the subjects like taxation, which should also help me doing my practice properly and render the clients in an efficient manner.
Yes. Sir, to summarize the conversation till now, if I want to become a successful in my career, the thing I should be is I should do what I love.
Yes.
What I am passionate about.
Yes.
If I am doing what I am loving or what I am passionate about, definitely I'll be successful.
Yes.
Sir, few students feel that having multiple qualifications like CA, CMA or CA, CMA, CS, like triple qualification, actually do that give any synergic benefit to the students?
Yeah, again this is a very good question. See, when we were doing CAs and all, the good combination which is suggestible in the market was CA and CS. Many age-old chartered accountants you see, they will not have the CA, CMA, CS, rather they will have CA and CS as a combination. But yes, nevertheless, you can do all the three courses, but only thing is, when you are doing all the three courses, you have to take permissions from the institutes also. The respective institutes have put up some regulations where if you are doing CA, you cannot do parallelly CMA, or if you are doing CMA parallelly, you cannot do CA. Like this, there are some regulations. So I request every one of you to take that necessary measures, and precautionary action also has to be taken. Based on that only you have to do. And yes, as you told, with regard to the synergic benefits, yes, definitely a person who has done only a CA and a person who has done CA, CMA as well as CS, or a combination of these, will definitely have edge over a single qualification. That is why generally we keep saying in the class, in the present day situation, don't do CA alone, do even CMA also parallelly. So that what happens is, this is the right age when you can put some efforts behind the studies, because once you grow up, the financial responsibilities will fall on your head. These are the things which will not allow you to do other courses. Like if you take my own self, I and my wife, we both spoke together and we told we'll do CS also after my qualification. We just registered for CS later on. We did not even look behind that books also. So the reason is the financial responsibilities you can take, or the day-to-day other responsibilities you can take. So which once you have one qualification, you will not tend to do other qualification. That is the reason parallelly along with CA at this age, when you are at the tender age of 18, 19, 20, 21 and all, please complete as much as qualifications as possible. So for those who could not do, CA Institute has brought up with some other course called post qualification courses, where they do FAFD course, concurrent auditor course, DSA, CISA, all these things. There are various nowadays. The latest course which has come is AI in ICAI.
Yes.
So you can take up all these courses also as a certificate course, and you can add it up to your curriculum vitae. So it will definitely give you some good amount of synergic benefits financially as well as from your career perspective.
Yes, sir. Sir, as in India we have a chartered accountancy course, cost accountant course, and company secretary course. Even overseas also we have various other courses, CIMA, CPA, ACCA, and
Correct.
other courses.
Correct.
Few students also do that course along with a BBA, BCom.
Correct.
What is your advice on that courses?
Okay. So with regard to selection of these courses, in case you want to be within India, okay, I want to practice in India, or I want to undergo employment in India, better always select the domestic courses like CA, CMA, CS. Otherwise, you also have some international courses, as you were rightly mentioning, ACCA, CIMA, CPA, etc. These are required for getting an employment abroad. So those people, that is those who do ACCA, CIMA, CPA, they cannot sign financial statements of an Indian company in India. Whereas in the same way, Indian chartered accountants also cannot sign the financials of the other countries. See, it is always hand on hand. However, I can say our Indian chartered accountancy course is very well recognized in 140 countries, where even the CA Institute has got agreement with other institute of chartered accountants. Like for example, you have Institute of Chartered Accountants of Australia, Institute of Chartered Accountants of England and Wales, where we have bilateral agreements. So as a Indian chartered accountant will also be very well recognized in those countries also. Whereas it is not the same with ACCA or CIMA and CPA. But of course, those bodies are also trying to build up their base in India. Recently also there was a meeting in India only, that too in our Hyderabad only, with regard to various other courses like USCMA and all. They are trying to build up their bases here. But yes, I can say old is always gold. So definitely our CA course and CMA course as well as CS course, definitely it will have its own prominence in our country. And forget about going abroad and all. Thanks to our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that he has also introduced the concept of Make in India. So because of this Make in India also, there are wide varieties of opportunities, and more startups are also coming, because they are also giving tax incentives also for the startup companies and all. If you see the and the budget a year ago, there was a incentive brought for the companies, where companies can pay just a tax at the rate of 15% instead of the regular rate of 30% and all. So these kind of initiatives the Indian government also is taking in order to ensure that our domestic market also increases on par with the foreign market. That is the reason they have been telling in the parliament also, India will now become third billion economy, etc., etc. They are trying to build up all these things. So having said that, now our courses are also having lot of importance. Yes, if you want to really fly to other countries, then take up this ACCA, CIMA and all. But if you want to stay back in India, like me and like other chartered accountants, you can always keep up yourself to the domestic courses. So this is the advantage. There is an advantage, there is a disadvantage also, because everything has a pros and cons, because everything has two sides of the coin.
Okay.
Any other endpoints you want to add to this session?
Okay, so I actually I'm very overwhelmed. First of all, to be the inaugural guest of this session, I really wish all the very best to entire YAR factory and the founder, I can say, Avinash Yerra. Yes, this will give you really a boost up to the CS students or the commerce professionals, in short, I can say, where they can go through this podcast during their free time. And they can also take up good courses without any hesitation, because I have been telling you there are very much toxic people in the society who do not allow you to do this course. So yes, you can definitely these students who are aspiring chartered accountants, or the people who are struggling to become chartered accountants, definitely they will they should take up this course seriously. And what are the remedial measures I have already mentioned in this, I think that would be very much useful to each one of them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for inviting me as an inaugural guest again, once again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.